And then you have Niebuhr, who has his view, which is kind of trying to thread the needle. I don't know, it's a bit of a cop out where right where he says Christ is not against culture, he's not of culture, he's not above culture, it's not Christ and culture, but rather Christ transforms culture. And you can see the kind of Hegelian dialectic going on here, right? Hegel, important thinker in the 1800s, who said history moves forward and ideas move forward by having a thesis, an idea, and then an antithesis in contrast to it. And these two ideas battle it out, but ultimately it leads to a synthesis over time. So you have, spirit of the age, counter revolution, but ultimately they kind of merge into something new, a synthesis, and that synthesis becomes the new thesis, and then there's a new antithesis that emerges. And so there's this kind of conflict and back and forth that's ultimately reconciled, at least temporarily, in the battle of ideas, but also in historical forces and social trends. I mention that because I think Niebuhr writes very much in this style. So you have the Christ against culture and the Christ of culture, thesis and antithesis, and then he tries to bring the synthesis. Christ transforms culture. You have Christ above culture and Christ and culture, and he's going to try to do the synthesis of let's take some elements from both of these ideas to get to what seems to be a fairly straightforward kind of approach, which is that none of these approaches in their extremes are probably right because none of them are entirely wrong. They've all got elements of truth. They're thinking about scripture, they're thinking about God and the world. And so he really encourages us to embrace the tension